Okay, guys. Um, Today we are going to be talking about creating your strategy. This section is called Strategic Marketing in the Digital Age. And this is going to be very helpful for you to work on your social media project as well, because we're going to talk about how to create a strategy outline, how to activate your strategy, what to do if you want to have a successful social media marketing strategy. So let's just start. The first step is to create your outline, to create a strategic outline. And there are certain steps you need to follow. We have already done some of this work, but the first one is understanding your target audience. This is the most important thing. That's why my first assignment to you was to understand your target audience. For that, some of you didn't really put a lot of detailed information about your audience. It's not enough to just find the demographics, like the age group. You also want to know, like, who are more interested in these kind of products. Is it just 18 to 24-year-olds? Or is it more females? And also, what do they like? What are they like? What do they do when they're shopping? What is their shopping behavior? Or how do they use social media? Where are they? Where do they usually shop? Do they shop online? Do they shop in store? You have to understand all of those characteristics of your target audience so that you can cater your marketing for them. The second one is setting clear goals and measurable results. You have to define your goals and objectives, but you also want to create some measurable results where you can measure whether you're being successful or not with your social media strategy. The third step is to research your competition and understand industry trends. We have already done this too. At the beginning, we wanted to understand the trends so that you can select which trend you want to use as a topic. But those are the first things you need to do when you're creating your outline. Now, when you start creating your social media strategy, these are some helpful tips. The first one is start with listening. This is all about understanding your target audience. First, find a platform where your audience is, where your target customers are, and determine where the conversation is taking place about the brand. For example, people who are interested in your type of products, like see where they are, where do they engage, what do they say, what do they like, what do they not like. Utilize social listening tools to understand so that you can align your brand in the correct way. You want to monitor influencers, find the influencers who are in this market segment, who are influencing other customers. You need to position your brand, create the clear message, celebrate and empower your target audience, monitor them, and monitor their friends, followers, and so on. Number two is media conversation and rules of engagement. Nowadays, if you're on social media, there are certain rules that you have to abide by, like openness, transparency, truthfulness, integrity, authenticity, adding value or insight. These are really important if you want to be followed and liked on social media. These are the basic rules of engagement. You have to be transparent, you have to be truthful, you have to be authentic. Number three is consistency in content. So your brand's message should be consistent across all platforms. You can't have a completely different type of brand message on Facebook versus on Instagram. So you want to be consistent and you want to share content that is, when I say consistent, I don't mean that you should just copy paste the same message to every platform. Sometimes, certain platforms have different strengths. So you may want to go into those platforms and utilize the strengths of that platform versus the other one. Okay, so for example, Instagram, you can create stories on Instagram. So you want to use that. On Facebook, you can access maybe an older age group. So you want to utilize that. The fourth one is the persona. That is your brand's persona. And that is going to function as the voice that relates target audiences to the brand. Number 5 is development of engaging content. So you want to develop content that supports your brand's message and that is shareable, that people will be motivated by it or educated by it or entertained by it, and they would like to share it. You want to enable your audiences to follow content as a narrative of your brand's story so that you can connect with them that way. Number 6, integrate social media marketing. Okay, streamline integrated marketing through social media, sales, and communications so that you have a clear audience message. Personalize your connection with audiences through digital content, and also utilize actionable customer data. This is to be able to give the customers a chance to respond to your brand, and then you can see what they are responding, how they are responding, what kind of messages they are giving. Number 7, measure and adjust. Of course, to be successful in social media marketing, you always want to measure, see what is happening, what is working, what do people like about your posts, or what do they not like. You need to see what works, what doesn't work, and you need to adjust your strategy based on that. Number 8 is the power of collaboration. So you want to forge partnerships and increase the viral conversation, find the influencers, use them to help spread the message. Okay, so this is all about the strategy. Now, to create a strategic plan, again, this is kind of the repetition of what I've been trying to say, but creating a unique, consistent brand voice is really important. And then you create your content strategy. So how do you want to share? What do you want to share? And which channels are you going to use? And create a calendar for your content. How often are you going to post? And you also need to look at the budget. We're going to talk a little bit about the budget later on, but you need to understand how much is it going to cost you and what is your return on investment. These are some important questions. So when you are doing social media marketing, your goal is in general, every business has the same goal: to increase sales, to increase revenue, to make more money, to make more profits. But you also, this may be your end goal, your final objective. But to get to that, there are certain goals that you need to define. Right? You need to identify your goals. So like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. So in social media marketing, that journey of 1,000 miles starts by finding the right shoes. Okay. So those are going to be your goals. And then you want to get to the second point, the next point. What are some of the tools you need to, what are some of the goals you need to achieve to get to that final goal, end goal, or your main objective? So these are some of the questions you can ask to identify your goals and your strategy. Do you need to increase sales? If so, what percentage? Are you looking for investors? Why are you looking for investors? How much control are you willing to give to the investors? Do you have brand awareness? How do you get in front of the ideal customer? How do you change the perception of the brand or increase the social presence of the brand? How can we be part of the consideration set? A consideration set is the brand that customer or consumer thinks about when they are considering a purchase. For example, you are thinking about getting a perfume. And the first thing that comes to your mind is Chanel, right? So this is the consideration set. You want to be the consideration set when people want to purchase those type of products. So this is important. Your strategy is basically a combination of those. So your objective, your goals, and your tactics. An objective is, like I said, it's the end goal. It's the main objective. This is what you want to be. For example, MAC, the makeup company, their objective is to offer high quality, innovative products that meet the needs of all races, ages, and gender. So that's their objective. How do they get there? They have to define their goals to get there. So the goals they may have are the specific paths that they need to follow to achieve the objective. So for example, if Mac wants to create products that meet the needs of all races and ages, then maybe they can address diverse consumer makeup needs. And they try to achieve those. The third one is tactics. So tactics are maybe you're creating global campaigns that propagate diversity. And maybe you want to promote equality and so on. So you want to work with fundraisers for the public good, or you want to create certain advertising campaigns where you feature celebrities. So these are your tactics to achieve your goals, and goals are there to achieve your objective. And that altogether creates your strategy. When it comes to tactics, again, the first phase is always the listening campaign. Understand your target consumers, find where they are, find your social sites. It's always the first two things. We have already worked on that. Set up your social sites and have a consistent message across. Research, when I say research, this is basically your listening campaign. You want to listen to what the customers are saying, what the consumers are saying. Then define existing content. Create fresh, engaging content that reflects your brand's image. And you need to identify all the influencers who are able to persuade people or change their opinions. Phase 2 is engagement. You reach out to influencers, you can follow them, friend them, engage with them. If you have blogs, you can update your blog with daily posts. Or if you're doing Instagram or other social media, you can use those. You can create memes, infographics, and maybe even a newsletter. So those are the ways you can engage. Okay. There are different types of strategies too. So when I say research, that's more about, that's mostly just listening to the conversations on social media about your brand, about your product, or about similar products. What do people say? What are some of the negative or positive opinions? This is your research. Conversation is, starting direct conversation with your customers or potential customers. Competitive strategy, that's more about watching and tracking your competition. Cost reduction, customer service. This is something where you might want to create, if your customers have questions about something, you might want to create a YouTube video, or you post something on Twitter to give answers to them. That way, maybe you can reduce calls to the call center for your products or for their purchases. Leadership strategy. This is more positioning your brand as a thought leader and an innovator in the industry. And education is maybe you're trying to provide some added value in a certain area that people need to know and understand. Now we're going to activate the strategy. What do you need to do? You need to build your team. You need to create your social media team, talk with influencers, create your digital content, and look at some of the good examples. On a social media team, there are a lot of different positions. Actually, for you guys, there are a lot of jobs that you can get in social media marketing. Many positions are available nowadays. For example, if you have your own social media team, that's different. If you're a brand and you're hiring a social media agency, marketing agency, they usually have some of those positions. So social media director, these are people who approve content strategies. They develop the brand awareness. They follow up with leads and sales and so on. Social media marketing manager, this is the person who approves all the content for all social media accounts that they manage. They post updates on different platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google Plus, wherever they're using. And they also use social media analysis tools. And they want to find out about the trending topics and figure out when it is the right time to post something related to those trending topics and things like that. Social media copywriter, these are people who create engaging online content and distribute post the content, keywords, and things like that. Digital marketing coordinator, this is a position which kind of coordinates the social media team in general and does campaign creation, and they collaborate with the marketing team to manage daily campaigns. And in the retail sector, they usually assist in tracking and approving affiliate management and so on. Social media community manager, these people are responsible for advocating for members of your brand's online audience. They want to monitor community expectations, raise awareness for potential customers, and so on. Social media strategist, this is the person who analyzes large amounts of data to determine the best strategy to market products. So these are the people who measure, and they track all social improvements and engagements, and they want to identify if the strategy is good or bad. Account managers, those are the liaisons between the brands and influencers to communicate between those parties, and so on. So those are a lot of positions that you could find in social media marketing, actually. So you could apply for one of those positions if you see one, because this is becoming a huge deal nowadays. And a lot of brands don't do their own social media team. They usually hire an agency who already has the team and they know what they're doing. But those are the places where you can get a job too. Okay, these are some strategies to drive engagement to your social media sites, like user-generated content campaigns, where you tap into your audience's power to create content. You can do limited time offers and exclusive discounts, giveaways, contests, or collaborate with influencers. Some tips for a successful social media strategy. First of all, you need to know who you are. What kind of brand are you? Who are you? Define your brand. Second, commit, because if you are hiring a social media agency, you still need to participate. You need to give them what they need to market your product. So you need to work on that. You need to be courageous, stay the course, follow your goals, and always measure and adjust. Measure to see if your strategy is on the right track. These are some of the ways that social commerce has evolved, like the influencer endorsements, shoppable posts, where you post something and then you direct the customer to the purchasing website, or there's the virtual try-ons and AR that is used nowadays. But all of those things cost money. So if you are creating a social media marketing, you are going to pay for it, and you're going to pay for your social media team or whatever agency you're hiring, the whole process, the technology you use. And you need to understand how much it costs versus how much it helps you bring revenue. For example, you are on social media as a musician, and you are spending $44,000 for your marketing on social media. But then the revenue that you get from your ticket sales is $2.6 million. So now, what percentage of $2.6 million is 44,000? What percentage of that money is your cost of marketing? When you calculate that, you can see a return on investment. So the difference divided by 44,000 is going to give you what percentage of return you're getting from this investment. So when you spend 44,000, you're making $2.6 million. That means for every dollar you spend, you're making $58, which is really not bad at all. These are some of the metrics you can use to measure your success. The engagement rate is the level of interaction, like likes, comments, shares of your content. Conversion rate is the number of visitors on your website or on your social media profiles. Reach and impressions, those are like how many people saw your content and how frequently is it displayed. So those are some metrics you can look at to measure whether you are being successful. All right, so we're going to finish it here. And please make sure you finish up your assignments. Every assignment for the next 6 or 7 weeks is all online on Blackboard. I am going to see you guys next week.